I thought I'd make a quick video going over the rig here just so you are familiar with it. The Mannequin by default comes in with FK spine, FK arms, and IK feet. Now I'll go a little bit later on switching between all of them, but I didn't find it too difficult to use. You have your main body control here. You can translate, rotate, and notice how when you rotate the body, the head will always follow. If you do the spine, regardless of whether you switch the head to IK or FK space, it will stay oriented, which I find handy. The shoulders are very handy. I mainly use rotations on them, but sometimes I will do translations if I really need to get a push. But you'll see how it deforms a bit more with translating than if I rotate. The weighting's a little bit better, so I recommend rotating for the most part and doing translations just for smaller tweaks. You also have FK arms. They're really standard, nothing new here. If you want to switch to IK, you need to go to your anim outliner, and if you type in switch, Epic has all these different nodes that you can turn on and off to switch between different spaces. For example, if I want to switch between IK and FK on the left hand arm here, I would just tick this box on and then it swaps. I have a more detailed video on going into that, but just know that you do have IK and FK for both the feet and the hands. And the feet, they do have foot roll and all that stuff, but they're split up, so everything is not on the main foot control here. You'll see how it rotates normally like a foot, but if you want foot roll, it's actually going to be on this ankle one here. Then you'll see if I use that, then I actually have a foot roll. It only goes in the Z here, so if you want foot bank and foot twist, that's actually what this square one is here for. You see how then I can rotate on the ball of the foot and get nice foot bank and stuff. So it's very similar to other rigs with the weighting and stuff, just it's split up on this control, and the main foot control instead of just having specific separate channels like how it is in Maya. Your spine also has IK, FK, and it's really just how it's weighted. So, FK, you can still translate it and rotate it, but if you want more of a traditional IK spine, they have that here, spine IK FK, switch it over, and then it's better driven through the translations and stuff here. The weighting's a little bit different. There's also the spine stretch, super handy, so if I try and do it, you'll see how it doesn't stretch at all, but if I go ahead and turn this on, then you'll see now I can so that can be really helpful for squash and stretch specific situations, so play with that as need be. The head also has different spaces. You have IK and FK for this. It's in the neck, so you see it's in FK right now, but if I turn this on, the neck goes away and then I just have the IK head. So then if you want to translate it, that works great. The rotation, the weighting is slightly different from what I see, but the rotations are basically the same. But you'll see how then if you want to translate to get the head to go where you want to, you can do that. You'll notice that if I translate the FK head, the weighting is completely different because it's intended to use the neck controls down there. Yes, there are different spaces as well. So this is typically done through the space settings here. So by default, they come in their own space, so it's in parent right now, but you can switch it to different spaces depending on what you need. So if you wanted it in world space, you would just do that, and you'll see that if I do that, in sequencer it'll immediately mark it so it's clearly labeled here in the graph editor. So then if it's in world space, you'll see I move and it stays put. So definitely play around with the different settings for everything to see what works best for you. And finally, let me go over the 3 controls down here at the bottom. This is your layout placement control, very standard, takes everything with it, I guess except for the hand if it's in world space. And the main ones here, this one's the body offset control. This can be handy if you want to animate your cycle moving forward in space. You could, move the body and the feet one way and then use the offset control to get it working in place. Now, very important is the root control. It is essentially a special control that will override any code and make all the animation based upon the location of this specific control. So we'll go into more details and more information on it later with the dodge roll section. But for now, for our walk cycles and stuff, you want to leave this at origin. If you animate it and you turn on a setting to tell Unreal, hey, follow this control instead of the code, you may get some unintended movement. Beware that this is a very specific control that will change your character's behavior. So yeah, that's all I have for now for the rig itself. I have a video going over how to set up constraints and everything like that that'll play after this one.